Hello everyone. Let's continue our topic, that is decentralization in India. So we talked about what is the meaning of decentralization, that is when power is taken away from the central and the state government and is given to the local government. It is known as decentralization of power. Now, after that, in our previous video, we have already talked about the basic idea behind decentralization. Decentralization is necessary for firstly solving the large number of problems and issues that are there at the local level, and also the people of local governments have better knowledge of problems in the localities, and they better understand the people and they better understand their problems and their issues, and they can be solved effectively and efficiently. Now, hence, better ideas on where they have to spend money and how to manage all the things effectively and efficiently, they know better. Now, also, very importantly, the decentralization also teaches people to participate in the decision making and also to realize one very important principle of democracy, that is local self government. A very important act was passed in 1992 and it brought about effective decentralization. There were certain steps that were taken up by the constitution in this regard, and these were: firstly, it was mandatory to hold regular elections in the local governments, and there was also the reservation of seats for the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and the other backward classes. Very importantly, one third of the seats were also reserved for women. And also, one body was set up, that was the State Election Commission, to conduct election, and also the state government now have to share some power and revenue with the local bodies, with the local governments, so that they can also take their decisions independently for the betterment of the people. Now, if you look at the following flow charts, they show you the Panchayati Raj system or the local self-government system. Now, at village level, there are Gram Panchayats that are being set up, and they are formed by the Gram Sabha. And the Gram Panchayats are headed by the Sarpanch. Now, at the block level, there is the Panchayat Samiti, that is elected by the Panchayat members and headed by the Block Development Officer or the BDO. Now, at the district level, there is Zilla Parishad, and Zilla Parishad is formed by the elected members and the members of Lok Sabha and MLA of the district, and is headed by the Zilla chairperson. Now, this flowchart shows you the local government, that is in the urban areas, in the towns and the big cities. In towns, we call the local government as municipalities, and they are headed by the municipal chairperson. And in the big cities, on the other hand, if we see, there are municipal corporations and which are headed by the mayor. So, moving forward, the local government bodies exist for urban areas as well as for rural areas. We have discussed about the rural areas and briefly about the urban areas as well. So there are municipalities that are being set up in towns, and in the case of big cities, they are constituted into municipal corporations. Both municipalities and municipal corporations that are set up in towns and big cities are controlled by elected bodies that consist of people's representatives. So both municipalities and municipal corporations are controlled by the elected bodies. In case of municipality, municipal chairperson is the political head, and in case of municipal corporation, it is headed by the mayor. Now, very importantly, this new system of local government is a very big experiment in democracy, and that was conducted anywhere in the world. So this experiment was the largest experiment in a democracy that was conducted in India, and there are now about 36 lakh elected representatives in the panchayats and municipalities, municipal corporations, etc. And they are all over the country. If we talk about all over the country, so there are 36 lakh elected representatives at the local level. Now, this number is bigger than the population of many of the countries in the world, and this experiment, this largest experiment that was done in a democracy, was a successful one, we can say indeed. Now, the constitutional status for a local government has also helped to deepen up the democracy in our country. It has also helped the people at local level to solve their problems effectively and efficiently. Their problems were taken up and solved effectively and efficiently by the local government. Now, it has also increased women's representation, as 1/3 of the seats were reserved for women. And also, women were able to raise their voice in our democracy, raise their questions to the government, and side by side participate as representatives. Now, at the same time, there are some of the difficulties as well that were being faced by this largest experiment. So, the elections were held regularly and enthusiastically, but the meetings of the Gram Sabhas were not held regularly. Now, second, very importantly, most of the state governments have not transferred significant powers and revenue to the local governments, and hence by this problem the local governments have not been able to work effectively and efficiently with the loss of revenue and power. And there was also the lack of adequate resources. So at last we can say that there is a long way from realizing the ideal of self-government. So children, today we discussed about the decentralization in India in detail, and we have finished this topic in this video. This video has first part also, in which I have explained you the meaning of decentralization, the basic idea behind decentralization, the Act of 1992, and after that we discussed about Panchayati Raj, Panchayats, Gram Sabhas and the blocks and is heading them. Now children, today in this video we discussed about the local government at urban level, and there we discussed about municipalities and municipal corporations, and after that we discussed about the success of the local government, which was the largest experiment that was done in a democracy, and after that we discussed about some of the difficulties that are being faced at the same time, and hence there is a long way from realizing the ideal of self-government. So children, that's all for today. We'll come back again with the next video explaining the next topic. Till then, thank you so much.